No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. I'm very, very honored to bring you guys an interview today with absolute legend in hip hop, Layzie Bone. How you feeling, man?
Oh, man, I'm blessed, man. I can't complain about nothing.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
You guys were a big part of my childhood, for sure.
That's what's up. We all grew up together, man. We definitely all grew up together.
Does that get a little weirder, like year after year, when, you know, I'm 42, and I'm telling you that you guys were like huge to me when I was literally in like, you know, third grade or some shit, you know, like that's it's got to feel kind of wild at a moment.
I mean, I can't believe it been the years, 30 plus years, man. It been a while, you know. I'm 51 now, so you know what I'm saying, like my whole life I've been at this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful thing. I'm just starting to get there where, like, you know, I'll have a kid come up to me and he's like 20 and he'll be like, man, I've been watching you since I was like 8. And I'm just like, what the fuck? That's the, you know,
Yeah,
like,
man.
it's weird to become part of people's childhood.
They grow up. I mean, we got them from 2 to 99. You know what I mean? So our fans, man, it span a few generations now.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And now, I mean, does it trip you out when you see people who are rocking like the merchandise, who almost certainly you're assuming that they're not actually listening to the music? It's just for whatever reason, Urban Outfitters decided that they were carrying a Bone Thug shirt this month.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the crazy part. You know what I mean? You see a 12-year-old rocking your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knowing they wasn't born.
Yeah.
Knowing they probably don't know the music, but yeah, man, it get kind of weird. Make you feel a little old sometimes.
Is there?
I'm forever young though. So
is there something wrong with wearing the T-shirt without being familiar with the music? Because I feel like the world we come from, there was something deeply wrong with that. You were a poser. It's like the worst thing that you could be. But as time goes by, it feels like that has just been thrown to the side.
I mean, no, I mean really, like I remember, you know, we used to have to shop at thrift shops sometimes. You know what I mean? I had a Kiss T-shirt back in the days where they had the faces painted on and all that. So, you know, long support is support.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You were ahead of your time. It's probably like a $500 T-shirt these days on like a vintage website.
Yeah, you just look at it and be like, damn, I did that.
Nah, facts. So, can you kind of take us back to what your come up was like in Cleveland at that time? Like, did it just feel impossible for you guys, like starting out rapping? Did it feel like it was impossible, the idea of you guys getting signed to a label, or was there somebody who was kind of like putting you on to that path of how you could potentially do this?
I mean, it really seemed like it was it was so far-fetched, man. Like, you know, because coming up in Cleveland, because Cleveland is originally a R&B town, you know what I'm saying? You got Levert and
Right.
OJs and all them, so you know what I mean, like Rude Boys, Men at Large, like they were doing their thing, and all our hip hop was underground. I still remember when we just had hip hop on the radio on Saturdays for an hour. You know what I mean?
And you'd be waiting around for it?
Yeah, club style,
Damn,
108 club style, man. We'd be waiting around with tapes paused, ready for that LL to come on so you could record it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, Cleveland a rough city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we went through all the eras of, like, we had West Coast, East Coast, and the South. So we kind of was a melting pot of all that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we had the Ghetto Boys, but before that, it was Run DMC and LL and Rakim and Eric B and them, and you know all that. Like I went through every fad. Kid and Play. You know what I mean? They used to call me and Craig Kid and Play all the time because we had the high top fades and all that shit, man. So yeah, Cleveland was a rough city to make it in. Like it wasn't no hip hop like that. Like,
Right.
We was the ones entering talent shows and really putting it down. You know, K Chill and Brothers for the Struggle and different groups like that throughout the city, but it was just a handful of us.
And you hadn't seen anybody really like make the transition to getting signed to a label or seeing any kind of success?
Nope. The most success I saw was Brothers for the Struggle, K Chill, and you know they had conquered Cleveland. You know what I mean? So that was the thing, like talent shows and we put out our local tape, Faces of Death, And after we did that, it was like, man, now what else could we do?
Right.
We got to get out of here to fulfill our dream.
Had you guys seen Faces of Death at that time? The VHS tape that was, I feel like so many people from our childhoods remember seeing this at some point.
Yeah.
And it was a bunch of like murders and deaths, but in retrospect, it was fake.
Yeah.
But it seemed pretty terrifying to me as a young kid.
It was terrifying to me too. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that was some scary shit. Crazy Bone put that on the table, Faces of Death, and you know, but yeah, man, that's what that was the humble beginnings. We had to get the hell out of Cleveland to be seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. And would you say that you guys were like influenced by LA and the West Coast in particular? Was that a Cleveland thing, or was that you guys just sort of borrowing elements of it? Because I remember as a young kid, maybe it's just me, but it took me a while to figure out that you guys were not LA rappers, because like stylistically, when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking as like a really young, dumb kid, I'm thinking that you guys seemed kind of like LA coded, but like, I don't know, looking back on that, was that a particular, and then once you guys signed to Eazy and everything, that kind of like made it make sense that this felt like a natural fit.
Yeah, that made everybody thought because of Eazy-E, we was from the West Coast, but like I said, we went through every fad, man, like the dancing, the African bambata, the medallions and all that type shit. And man, we was just, by the time NWA came out, 88, 86, 87, whenever that was, we was junior high school. You know what I mean? So that's what we gravitated to, because that's what we was doing. When Dope Man hit the streets, that's what, you know, that's how we was getting money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we was able to afford Jordans and jogging suits and, you know, LL Cool J jackets and things like that, you know, troops and all that. But yeah, that's what it was. Like Cleveland, if you 9 times out of 10, my generation, you a hustler coming from Cleveland.
That was the culture at the time.
The culture, yeah, that was the crack epidemic. That was the height of it.
You didn't really have gangs at that time in Cleveland?
We ain't had gangs, you know what I mean? We had streets that, you know, we on 99th, you have 93rd. We fell out sometimes, but it wasn't Blood, Crip, or Vice Lord or nothing like that. It was just like, get this money. And that's what we was doing, because that's what it was. Colors came out, Nino Brown, all that. So that's what we was mocking. So when our decision came down to get which coast we wanted to go to, we wanted to be with Eazy-E, because that's what we dressed the khakis. So after LL and them, you know, late 80s, then when NWA took over and you was able to cuss on the record, and it was normal, that's what we wanted to do.
Damn, so you remember a time before you had ever heard anybody cuss on a record, huh? Yeah,
I mean, they used to make us clean our shit up. You know what I mean? They'd be like, man, yeah, we gonna let y'all in the talent show, Bone, but y'all can't cuss. Be like, all right, well, we'll clean it up, and tried to clean it up.
Okay, just to stay on Cleveland for a second, like, I'm from right outside Boston, and Boston has always stood out to me as like, damn, probably like one of the biggest cities in America that really has had so little of an impact hip hop wise. Like, it just somehow it's right there, right next to New York and Philly and shit, but just like zillion legendary rappers out of New York and Philly, and then somehow Boston just always lagged behind like crazy. And I never, you know, there's a bunch of different factors, but like, do you feel like there's a reason why Cleveland never became like a consistent source of like new rappers?
Well, I think it just, we just didn't have the resources, man. It wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, it's Ohio, Boston, that's more government. That's more, you know, Supreme Court and all that, you know, heavy on the police, heavy on the prejudice and things like that. So when hip hop was making its way, it was like that. It was rebuked. They didn't want that, you know what I'm saying? So it took a while. It took us to come to California to bring it back.
Right.
We was the very first major video that happened in Cleveland.
Right. Yeah, I feel like you guys are just like way too talented. That it's just even at a time like that when it was kind of difficult for word to travel, it was just like you guys just like stood out and were so unique for that time that there's no way that the labels weren't gonna figure out what was going on.
Yeah, they didn't start taking trips down to Cleveland until after we came out.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So we definitely put the city on the map.
right.
And made people take a look.
Definitely. So, do you remember like the early days of when like labels first made contact with you, or was it Eazy himself who was like the first label connected person that met up with you guys and had a conversation?
Yeah, well, when we came out here, like we left Cleveland with Eazy-E in mind. He was feuding with the Dog Pound, and we was like, he was the underdog. So who would we rather be with? The boss, the the CEO, and that's what I admire. You know, I liked Lil J from Rap A Lot. I was looking at Russell Simmons. You know what I mean? Like I was looking at those guys. So us being from the streets, in the streets at that time, it was just a natural fit to go find Eazy-E.
Had you kind of figured out that Eazy-E was like the real gangster of that whole time period? Because that's what you hear a lot.
I mean, that was the word on the streets. Eazy-E was the man, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So yeah, when we was like, I mean, but Ice Cube was the favorite rapper though. You know what I'm saying? But then
And then
it was
Snoop
like,
is just so swaggy, tall and shit with the fro. You know, there's like they all had different value they were bringing to the table. You know,
right. But yeah, but it was the West Coast for us all day.
So what was that first meeting with Eazy like?
I mean, well, first we talked to him on the phone. You know what I mean? Like we called his office 1,000 times in a day trying to get some attention from them. And then we finally had to hustle back to Cleveland because he was doing the show. And at that show, we was able to get on because we was doing our thing already in Cleveland. We was known. You know, we was doing our shit big time in Cleveland with the Faces of Death and all that. So when we finally met Eazy-E backstage, he was like, "Hey man, y'all the ones was on the phone. I was talking to on the phone and all that." And it was like the setting that night. Eazy-E had about 1,000 rappers in there. Everybody trying to get on. You know what I mean? And we just when we took off, we shut it all the way down.
But so what? You guys really stood out amongst the 1,000 rappers that were trying to get on, like in that environment.
Oh yeah, it was me and Busy got backstage, and I saw Yellow in the hallway, and when I saw Yellow, I just started rapping, and then Eazy-E peeked his head out the door with all that other confusion going on, you know, with people trying to show them what they was doing, and then when he stuck his head out, he was like, "Hey man, y'all them niggas, right?" We like, "Yeah," and then he was like, "Well, when you wanna come back? I mean, when you wanna come to California?" We like, "Right now." He like, "I gotta finish up this tour, and when I get back off tour, I'ma send for y'all." And that was about a month, 2 months. So we still didn't think we was in there.
Because you didn't know if he was just being nice or what, right?
Yeah, we didn't know if he was bullshitting us or what. But you know, he eventually he called, and we was one-way bus tickets back to California. It was a trip there, one-way bus tickets, trip home, one-way bus tickets, and trip back, one-way bus tickets.
It's like everything back then was impossible compared to how easy things are today in terms of being able to buy a flight online on your phone in 2 seconds. Or you want to get in touch with a famous rapper, you could like DM them, or, you know, post an Instagram reel or like tag them, or you know, like all these things that like are just make everything so much more frictionless. But like at that time, you just had to stalk them down and get in their face.
Man,
you know,
you had to take that trip.
Yeah,
we was 18, 19 years old on a 3,000-mile mission, you know what I'm saying, and not knowing where we was gonna end up at. So,
and you were homeless in LA for a little while before you.
We was homeless. Like we didn't have a place that was ours that we could stay. But rest in peace, my homeboy Don. You know, he let us camp out in his garage / shelter, whatever that was. So we was able to get out of the streets, but it was in a little shack that we stayed in.
Right. That's crazy. So then by the time Eazy gets you out to LA, and then you just get in the studio and get to recording?
Yeah, well, we got out here. We left November 23rd, 1993. We was homeless for about 2 months. Then we went back. And then when Eazy-E sent for us, we went straight in the studio. He was doing the End of the World video the day we pulled up with him, Shaky, and Cocaine. They was shooting the video, so all our little knapsacks and shit was lined up against the wall waiting for him to put us in the hotel. We went to the studio the next day. A week later, we had a EP done, you know, and in June, so in about a 3-4 month period, we had recorded Creeping on the Come Up and half of East 1999.
Right.
So getting there in January, in June, our album was out in platinum.
Right. And was there like an overall sense of like how classic or like unique or important this music was at the time? Like, did you get it, or did it only start to make sense down the road after?
I don't think it dawned on us. Eazy-E knew. He was like, man, y'all different, because we wanted to battle rap. We wanted to rap against whoever, you know, he was beefing with. We wanted to have at it, but he would always make us sing. He'd be like, man, do that harmony shit y'all be doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he seen that, and at the time, we was still Bone Enterprise. We had a song called Thugs in Harmony.
Right.
You know, and E was like, well, that's y'all name right there. Tried to get us to drop the Bone and be Thugs in Harmony, but Bone was our last name.
Right.
That's how we had, you know, that was the family name was Bone, so it ended up being Bone Thugs in Harmony. But Eazy-E made that Thugs in Harmony stick.
Right. No, 100%. Did you get to see the wild side of Eazy? Like, were you shocked by his lifestyle at all?
Not at all, man. I mean, I was shocked because it wasn't all that.
Really?
You know what I mean? It was like we was in the studio, man. Eazy-E kept us away from everybody. We was with the Black Hole of Watts, you know what I'm saying, and a couple other, you know, Cocaine, a Bud of Law sometimes, you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, he put us straight to work, and what I saw from Eazy-E was a family man. You know what I mean? Like we'd go places with him, and he'd be playing with kids, and you know what I mean? And I had my son out here with me, so that's what I saw. I saw him. It wasn't like he was a jokester, man. He played pranks on people and shit like that.
Yeah, and I guess you got to see a bit older, a little bit more sophisticated version of him, whereas like a lot of the craziest like NWA lore is that early segment of his career. You guys kind of linked up a little bit later.
We ain't see the pool parties that everybody was bragging about.
Really? Okay,
you know what I mean? We ain't see all that, but you know, but the women was after him though, so we saw we saw that too.
Do you think that when the story of LA rap gets told, that Eazy gets his just due, or do you think sometimes he gets, you know, marginalized a little bit when they tell that story?
I mean, he definitely get marginalized because of the way he died. You know what I mean? Because it was the HIV and things like that, so they look over him. But truthfully, I don't really. I mean, you got Ice-T and King T and, you know, rappers like that was out here banging like Eazy-E was. But to me, he responsible for the success of West Coast hip hop, LA hip hop, rather.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, AIDS being such a mysterious force at that time, it kind of, there was an extent to which it just didn't get memorialized in the way that maybe it should have, in the same way that like when Tupac dies, he goes down in a blaze of glory. You know, it's like people are used to the story of somebody getting shot and losing their life, whereas like the AIDS thing was just a little bit muddied at the time. But that to me was kind of like my first hip hop death. I think I was in like 5th grade, and it just was like this reality check of like, damn, these dudes that you're obsessed with are, you know, this is a delicate situation. This could go down.
Yeah, well, my first hip hop death that I remember real vividly was DJ Skylar Rock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, BDP. When he got killed, that was big in the hood. Like, man, he got killed, and you know, you can't be out there at these parties if you ain't strapped. You know what I mean? Like it was wild like that. But yeah, that AIDS was taboo. Everybody was scared that, you know, if you touch somebody, they thought you would get it. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have the education that we had now.
Yeah.
But he died so fast though, man. That's why it's still puzzling to this day. You know, 1 month we was in New York. We was in New York at the tunnel, and Eazy-E and Ice Cube had hooked up. You know, and they was talking about reconciling, getting back together and all this type of stuff. And when we got back from New York, which was like after Christmas, around New Year's, the change of the year, he went to the hospital for the coffin and all that. And we thought he was gonna get better, but that was 1 month he was still in the hospital. Second month he was diagnosed full-blown AIDS, and then the third month he was gone. So it was like that transition happened so fast, it spooked everybody. We thought it was over with.
Right. Damn, that must have been a crazy time.
Yeah, and we, you know, as soon as you get on, the person who took you out of the hell you living in, just gone.
And so did that, like, how would you describe the impact that had on you guys career-wise at that time, as well as, you know, emotionally, losing this guy who was like a mentor to you?
I mean, Eazy-E was our mentor. Like, he took us everywhere he was going. You know what I mean? He had braiding his hair like us and all that. So we was left. I went back to Cleveland for a little while, you know what I mean? Because I thought it was over with. And, you know, by him teaching us the game, like, we kind of felt like, you know, we was just out here by ourselves. It wasn't we didn't have no guidance. Like, Bone Thugs and Harmony story is probably, when we do tell our story, the stuff that you see that we had to go through because we didn't have that protection. You know, it was real street life living. We was collecting money that we never had. Went from food stamps to $300,000, $85,000 check. You know what I mean? Now you in the hood and you got this money, and now it's like, and we toting pistols and we doing all kind of stuff to just, well, we thought that street life was, you know, we didn't have nobody to help us, guide us in no type of way.
So you had all that money and you're just hanging out in the hood because you just feel like you don't even know what life would be like if you were to go post up in the nice part of town? Or did you feel like that was just where you wanted to be because it's where you felt comfortable?
I mean, that's where we wanted to be. Like, me, myself, personally, I bought a house immediately. You know what I mean? So, and it was in a nicer, you know, University Heights, Ohio is where I bought my first house. But you still in the hood, though. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got nobody giving you information like, yo, man, you know, leave the hood. Don't go out there with all your jewelry. Don't, you know, you're a target now.
Right.
So we didn't know that. So we was in the thick of it.
Was it crazy because you guys sided with Eazy so much that there's all these other like labels or like music moguls or whatever who would like probably want to sign you guys, but you guys kind of chose your side, and you would feel almost disloyal if you were going and fucking with somebody that was not somebody Eazy got along with during his life. Was that ever like an issue?
Yeah, I mean, we loyal to Eazy-E to this day, you know. I rock with little Eazy-E, like that's my little brother, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was crazy, man. That's how we got, you know, when E died, everybody wanted Bone. They didn't just, you know, they couldn't get us because we was loyal. But Flesh wasn't signed to Eazy-E because he was going through his thing with the laws and stuff like that. So Leor Cohen and DMC from Run DMC, they pops up at my house trying to sign Bone. But I parlayed that into a Def Jam deal for Flesh.
Really?
You know what I mean? So you had Lil J from Rap-A-Lot courting Flesh, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to get Bone Thugs in Harmony. You know, it was just like, it was an opportunity that some things could have happened with Suge. You know what I mean? But we was just like, nah, we rock with E. You know what I mean? And we stayed at Ruthless until what? I think like 2002. And, you know, until the wheels fell off.
Which is like a full 6 years after he passed, right?
Yeah.
And so how would you describe Ruthless at that time? Because it was his widow who was running things, right?
Right. It was her. And then not only, it wasn't just her though, it was it went through the courts. I remember Ron Sweeney, I remember Michael Klein, I remember them fighting over the company. So our money was on pause for a long time, you know what I mean? Like we was able to do shows and we was getting paid handsomely, but like far as getting our royalties and things like that and having some type of foundation, like they were scrapping over that company for a long time.
Definitely. And so what had to actually happen before you decided that Ruthless just wasn't going to work out? Or did they go bankrupt or some shit?
Nah, I highly doubt that she could ever go bankrupt. Eazy-E was platinum, NWA was platinum. What's my homegirl's name? JJ Fad was platinum. Above the Law was platinum. True. Yeah, E didn't have money problems.
But would you say it was mismanaged over there?
Yeah. I mean, I just think it was a lot of mismanagement, you know. God bless the dead, but Jerry Heller with Eazy-E was going through with him. You know, he was opening his eyes to how business, you know, because he came from the streets and all of a sudden he got all this platinum shit going on. So it took him a while. It was us that he was protecting. He wanted our deals to be better than a dog pound, his words. Better than, you know what I mean, better than where he started from. And that's what it was, man. It was a lot of mismanagement and it was a lot of just, you know, this what the game is, man. A lot of thievery, a lot of lying, a lot of wool over the eyes. People don't want to teach you the business so they can you out of the business.
But do you look back at that time period where you guys were sticking with Ruthless, but maybe Ruthless is not giving you all the opportunities and all the firepower that you need? Do you look back at that with a little bit of resentment, just because like those really were the prime years of your career where like y'all needed to be on go in order to like, you know, really capitalize off the opportunity, you know?
I mean, no, I point no fingers at nobody, you know what I'm saying? Because for one, we kept it moving. You know what I mean? Like I immediately went and got a Mo Thug production deal. You know what I'm saying? So we had Mo Thug. We kept putting out albums. I went and got solo deals and things like that. So if we was waiting on them for a Bone situation of any magnitude, we was still busting plays on the side, going on tour, you know, touring with Keith Sweat and Mary J. Blige and all that. That was us putting our best foot forward to keep our dreams alive. So, you know, it could have been a lot better. We could have got a lot more support, but you know, the man was gone.
Yeah,
the visionary was gone.
Yeah, like I feel like that's something that we've all kind of accepted at this point. That like with no Jay-Z, there is no Rockefeller, right? Like with no, you know, any without 50 Cent, what the f is a G Unit? Like without that figurehead, there just isn't really any hope for this label to be able to like sign artists, because like any artist who's signing Ruthless, they're signing Ruthless because they believe in Eazy-E. You know, if you sign to 1017, it's because you believe in Gucci Mane and what he represents and the promotion that he's going to be able to give you and shit like that. So I don't think we'll ever see like some of the oldest labels, like the real deal, like labels were able to kind of like persevere and become giants. But as far as like regular hip hop labels, I don't think we ever seen any of them like outlive the founder.
Nah, they haven't.
Yeah.
We ain't never seen that before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, cause I mean, once the vision is gone, man, it's you got to have vision out here, man. And if the person who dressing and had the image and the sound and the image, once that was gone, you know, we was just fortunate enough to have Eazy-E put us around a team with DJ Unique and Rhythm D and all these other producers that he put us with that we became family with. So our foundation was set. He set us up the right way, but you know, as far as new artists, every new artist that came through there had issues.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy, like just the whole idea of like being able to like outlive your physical body. Like I was at this like kids sort of like picnic festival type thing with my daughter, and there was like a booth set up that was like for Snoop Dogg's like kid brand,
right?
And like a guy comes out in a dog costume and he like performs a song, but it's like a Snoop Dogg like verse just playing, like doing like a kid song, and he dances around and he like pretends to rap along to the song or whatever. And I'm just watching it and I'm kind of thinking like, this is sort of genius, because like realistically Snoop Dogg is an old man, but he, through the rap name that he chose and shit, like he has this like brand that could be something beyond just him, you know? And like if he builds it up, and it's a very competitive marketplace, but if that became a thing, that's how Snoop Dogg could live on to like future generations even once he's gone, which is kind of it's a crazy idea, because I feel like Bone Thugs as a brand could almost do that too.
Well, you know, speaking of Snoop Dogg, like I watch Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? Like I watched his move from the dreads to everything. Like to me, he was the master of reinventing himself. You know what I mean? So being cool with Snoop, I just always just watched him, and you know, you borrow from the best. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Bone Thugs and Harmony can easily transition into cartoons and things like that. The one thing that was good about us, we never overflooded the market. You know what I mean? We always had this mystique, this mysterious of like, because we wasn't all the way in the industry like that. So we was always in the cut, but sold just as many records as the heavy hitters, you know? Like we didn't get the TV time and all the other tools that everybody else had to keep their fame going. Our shit was just straight skills. Yeah. Skill, style, and just having something that nobody couldn't. They tried to mimic but couldn't.
It's probably part of why it still has so much like cultural resonance, is because it never felt truly blown out, you know?
Right. Yes, I think it's still a lot for Bone to do. You know what I mean? Like our biopic and all the things that's still yet to come. Right. You know what I mean? So it wasn't all crammed into a 10-year period. We've been able to stretch it out, and it's tons of new avenues.
Yeah. No, for real. Because like I remember like back in the day when you guys were kind of like signing additional members and stuff, it did kind of seem like that for a minute. Like, damn, it's like Bone Thugs going to be like the Power Rangers, where like at some point there's like another Bone Thug who just like enters the group, and then like that's how they continue to have like a team regardless, even if it's not the original team. I don't know.
Right. I mean, well, you know, the five is the five.
Right, yeah.
Bottom line, you know what
That's
I'm
what
saying?
they want to see at the end of the day.
The five is the five, but the world accepted Mo Thugs.
Yeah.
I told them roll with the bone, Mo Thugs gonna follow, meaning it was gonna be some more talent, because we always had the talent with us. There was so much talent surrounding us in Cleveland. It felt like my duty to put those guys on. You know, those singers, those rappers, those managers we was working with, things like that. So it took our thing took on its own world. I felt like outside of the industry. Like we say, we wasn't industry, we was in the streets.
Right. Definitely. Like, was there something about y'all that kind of drew you to some of the like darker images and iconography? Because I feel like that's something that always kind of made y'all stand out, like image wise too, is that there was this sort of dark, haunting vibe about it.
I mean, we wanted to, just the bone period, the skull imagery period always gave us that that mystical type of, what is these guys really on, you know, and we grew up to, like I said, every fad. The horror rap from when Ghetto Boys was doing it. And
but did you so you went through that fad, but by the time we got to know Bone Thugs, y'all had not, you kind of moved past that?
Yeah, I mean, we played with the Ouija board, you know what I mean? It was we bought it from Toys R Us. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like we always been spiritual. We grew up Christianity, Baptist, you know, Jehovah Witness and all that type of stuff. But if we wrote a song about it, if we lived through it, we wrote songs about it. So everything we experienced, we put on record.
Definitely. Do you like, okay, what year would you say was the most insane in terms of like you guys being at your peak, most famous, most difficult to leave the hotel? Like what was the year that was the most just out of control?
Man, after Crossroads, bottom line.
Yeah, wow.
Because we had first of the month first, and then when the remix to Crossroads came, it was like you couldn't go to the grocery store like that.
That transcended rap.
Yeah, when it put us on a whole nother level. So 96 to 99, those like it was hard to move around.
And that's like right after you lose Eazy, and then you kind of like go back to Cleveland and stuff too. Was that how did that feel to have such a horrible thing happen and then to have such positive things come so soon after?
I mean, that's what the whole how could I say it? That's what made it just really, really weird, man, for lack of a better word. It was just weird because the song that did the most for us was because when we was coming up, our people, like we was on tour, and my homeboy from the Graveyard Shift, Tombstone, got murdered. You know, we took the bus, we abandoned tour, took the tour bus to home to have his funeral. You know what I'm saying? So we was taking loss after loss after loss while the world saw us as winning.
Right. Damn. Man, that's crazy. Like, do you get emotional still performing that song? Does it do anything to you after all these years?
Oh yeah, it definitely do. You know, my mom just recently passed, you know what I'm
sorry to hear
saying?
that.
So to be on stage doing that song and to have thoughts about, we took some L's, man. We lost our moms in the game. We still got my auntie Sweet No is the last bone mother here, and still kicking it, still fiery, and still doing her thing. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Yeah, but yeah, man, that thing it still touch you.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's so crazy to think that you made this soundtrack to so many other people's loss, that like something that you created, that's kind of like the ultimate thing that you could hope for from art in general, is not only that is it going to resonate with people, but it's going to resonate with people at like the most important time in their life, and that it's just blatantly going to go on beyond you, you know?
It's like having a wedding song.
Yeah.
They're going to play them wedding songs forever. That Crossroads going to forever be played at a funeral.
Yeah.
We all got to go, and that's something that ain't going to never stop.
You feel like you've spent much time thinking about your own mortality and like what you want your funeral to be like, or have you gone through the awkward process, which I have now gone through, of like doing your will?
Yeah. I mean, I'm like Pac though. Have a party at my funeral, let every rapper rock it. I don't want no sad crying and fake you up there, you know. He was a good man when you know you ain't called me in 2 years and all that. So yeah, man, I'm good with it though. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I lived a life of 10, 90-year-old men.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the things I've been been able to accomplish, things we've been able to see, parts of the world we've been in. So it's just like, it's just it becomes about the future. It can, what's this legacy?
Right.
What you gonna leave behind? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna build a school? You know what I'm saying? You gonna be able to pass it down to your children for them to keep going. So that's what the hustle become like. How much can you leave behind? How much could you change before your time come?
Yeah.
That's what my new album is all about. That dash, that little line in the middle of your birth date and your death date, and what that consists of and what you did with it.
Damn. Okay. So that's something you've like sort of meditated on, or does it feel like an important metaphor for what this album's about?
Yeah, it's I'm living my dash, my best life, my dash. I'm moving every day, and every day I'm trying to outdo the next day. So I'm dashing about, and all you get is that, as little as that line is, that's really how short life is.
Right. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's like a lot of times people end up kind of pointing out the difference in how rappers are remembered when they pass when they're young versus when they're older. And it's kind of unfair how, like, as a rapper, if they're lucky enough to live a long life into their 60s or whatever, then a lot of times by the time they pass, the culture as a whole will kind of have moved on in large part. When you see a rapper who's like, in their 70s or some shit who dies at this point, it's like, it's kind of weird because it's like so many of the people that cared about that guy when he was at his height are also now gone. Right. Versus when you see somebody like Tupac who gets taken out of this world at like the absolute peak of his stardom and in such a dramatic way. Nipsey Hussle, they get to become icons,
martyrs.
Yeah.
I
mean, how do you see that? Because on one hand, like, to live a long life into your 70s or 80s or whatever, that's the reward,
right?
But then on the other hand, I guess you don't get the same glory.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about the work you put in, though. You know what I mean? Like, some rappers fade into obscurity. You know what I'm saying? So it's like me, I'm gonna stay around the youngsters forever. So if it ain't me that's putting out music and things like that, I'm still gonna be involved with whoever, the hottest. I'm gonna be involved in it. So I think, as long as you stay active in your work, I think you can still go out and with the glory. At the end of the day, you just gotta keep working. A lot of people get tired. A lot of people don't want to do it no more because you on the road I've been on the road 30 years and I'm still hungry. Like I love it. Love it. You know what I mean? Like I can't imagine not having that in my life. You know what I mean? Because that's what I know.
Yeah. Like, is there ever this temptation to like sort of put the rap stuff on cruise control? And, obviously you guys can get by performing shows off your catalog. Is there ever a time period where like actually creating music just feels less interesting, or is it always intriguing?
No, because shit happen every day. There's always something to talk about. If you a writer, some people, that's Bone Thugs and Harmony. We didn't get into this game like, okay, we want to be rich. Or we want to be the best. Bottom line, like we want to be the best storytellers, the best, and it's a passion with this whole thing that I don't think if you're a true writer, if you're a true storyteller, you never lose the passion for it, even if you fade off into movies or, Broadway stages and things like that. Like once a writer, always a writer. Life is always lifing.
Nah, facts. Do you feel like, because I feel like sometimes that archetype of like a big rapper who is just a rapper because he loves rapping and he loves writing, and it's like, you hear all these legends about, you know, people like Nas and The Notebook and Eminem constantly putting words together. It's like, do you feel like that's kind of been lost to a certain extent? Because in hip hop, like the style that a lot of times gets the most attention is either the guy who's maybe not as concerned with his lyrics, or even is just sort of doing melodies and just that's just like an afterthought of like what he's actually saying. Like, did those changes like bother you in hip hop?
Not really, because it's always a true artist in the mix, man. You know what I mean? Like, those are what you call fads, but it's always a couple diamonds in the rough that's gonna hold the flag up. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna really represent the artistry of it. You know what I mean? Wanting to be creative with it. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword any way you look at it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Was there ever any time in your journey to the top where you felt like you were being exposed to like a dark side of the showbiz world or the music industry? Because you hear a lot about that with like people who think of the Illuminati as being like a real risk and stuff like that, and you hear about the Diddy parties and the Epstein parties and all this kind of shit. Like, would you ever feel like you were on the cusp of maybe like getting exposed to like a darker side of the music business?
I mean, you always run that risk, because this business of show business, it's always alcohol, it's always drugs. You know what I mean? I went through a dark phase before. I never done no type of drugs like that. Ecstasy, when that was a big thing. You know,
got a little too heavy on that?
Yeah, I mean, I tried it, but I couldn't stay woke, so it wasn't for me. But alcohol, over drinking and shit, over partying, it's like you got to find that breakthrough to where you understand, okay, now this is show business. So you live in the show. All the time it's the party, all the time it's the show. But then if you in it long enough, you understand that the business go before the show. And that's when you either dodge that dark alley or you fall into it. I feel like we dodged that shit.
Yeah, like you guys didn't have like a moment where it really felt like the group was going to get torn apart by like substance abuse, because I feel like that's almost like a rite of passage for a lot of groups, that just inevitably becomes part of it, where one of them's got some addiction and it's like threatening to tear things apart.
Yeah, I mean, it's always that, because it's always there. You know what I mean? So bottom line, man, you gotta know, like, over 30 years, you can go hard for a year or two, but you gotta sit back for 3 months, 6 months. You know what I mean? You learn how to find your balance in what you love doing.
You guys don't get the credit you deserve for being like maybe the longest running group in hip hop that never really split up in any meaningful way, right? Like,
I mean, we break up to make up, but we fight. We fight like brothers, man. You know what I mean? Like, we don't always agree. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, we always come home. You know what I mean? Like, Flesh is my brother. Wish is my cousin. You know what I mean? Crazy best friend, Busy Bone, that's my little brother. You know what I mean? Like, our families was intertwined before we seen the day of light of fame.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. Like, even when we was tripping off, if somebody tripping off money or going too far to the left in any type of way, our mothers would step up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, y'all get this shit together, because it's about family first.
It stands out that, like, I guess you guys and like the Migos are kind of like the longest lasting hip hop groups, and that it really stands out that it was like a family thing. Like it's so hard to be a group that being family members is like maybe the only adhesive that can really hold it together, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, we wasn't like Eazy-E didn't put us together.
Right, yeah.
We wasn't assembled, you know what I'm saying? It was genuinely written. The story was already written before we came into the picture, you know what I mean? God planned this. This is God's plan for real.
Yeah. I mean, like, you got Wu-Tang, but I felt like Wu-Tang wasn't like, well, number one, they didn't really like stay that close together. It felt like, and it kind of felt like they were never connected like that, you know. Like it's different when you get that like childhood connection, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's bottom line. We family, man. We love each other. You know what I mean? Like, and we fight it, and what we fight about is concerns of each other. So, you know what I mean? It ain't like it's no amount of money that can come between us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we understand. Okay, if you need to go do what you do, get that off your chest. It's understood. It's respect first.
What have you learned about conflict resolution and how to manage the conflict that inevitably comes up as a group? Like that has to have involved you maturing a lot over the years, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just learned that don't none of this shit matter at all. You know what I mean? Like, we here today, gone tomorrow. So none of it really matters. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't got your people, if you out here running through the world by yourself and you ain't got love around you, then it's nothing. So, you know, you learn that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you prioritize, as a youngster, you prioritize money over certain things and, you know, materialistic shit. But then when it come down to you having to write a song about Eazy-E passing away, or you just lost your best friend due to some dumb shit, and you just got a platinum plaque, like, it's just like you balance that out and figure out don't none of this shit matter.
I mean, I feel like if one of the members doesn't develop such an ego that they're like kind of just end up on the outs with other members, that's like a miracle. That's like, it just takes something so, like, such a strong bond to manage that, because stardom and fame and wealth are like the biggest stressors that you could imagine on a relationship. You know, like to go from a dude on the block with nothing to a dude with $1 million in the bank, and to stay kind of the same person and to stay getting along with the same dudes that you came in with, that's just like, it's so hard to pull off. It almost never happens.
You can't dodge the egotistical parts of human. That's human nature. You know what I'm saying? You can't dodge it. You just, you know, you either grow or you die, man. That's just bottom line. So that's, we grow. You know what I mean? We still planting seeds to this day. So, you know what I mean? And like I said, we don't always see eye to eye. But when it come down to it, I can have a problem with my brother, but you can't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can, not me and him can cuss each other out and call each other whatever however we fall out, but you ain't gonna do it. Cause we gonna come together like that Voltron. When that fist come together, is more powerful, and we understood that young.
Yeah, it's crazy because in this day and age, it's like if you got a problem with somebody, like, people just unfollow each other, block each other, just ghost each other, never have a conversation. Are you guys more the types to, like, no, we're gonna yell at each other? We're gonna, like, does it feel like you all have that open communication where it's not like things build up because they're unsaid?
Yeah, because, I mean, you got a nigga like me in the group, you know? I'm like, man, I put it on the table. You know what I'm saying? I've been shot in the head at 16 years old, you know what I mean? Like, almost out of here, you know what I'm saying? Like, really almost out of here. So diplomacy has always been my thing, being diplomatic within our group, because, you know, like, yeah, just let them cool off then, and then we had a conversation. So I know that's my gift, the glue, the one who gonna go get somebody, or, you know, just force that conversation until you iron it out like men.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. This is a lost art. It's an important thing to hold on to. So you guys, like, sometimes you perform on these sort of like retro tours where it's like a bunch of other artists from the 90s and shit like that. But then I feel like you also perform to, like, you know, younger, like more like hip hop oriented, like, crowds. Like, does it feel like very distinctly different? And like, which one do you prefer between those two sort of different audiences? And maybe there's other types of audiences that we don't even know about.
Well, for me, it's, you know, the 20-year-olds when I was 20, they got kids.
Right.
They was fanatical about Bone Thugs and Harmony. So when you come to a Bone Thugs and Harmony show, as opposed to a 90s hip hop and all that, you got babies in the crowd, man.
Really?
You got 10-year-olds in the crowd front row going bone crazy because their parents put them up on it. Like, we've been that relevant in people's households that long to where our demographic of age, it keeps getting younger and younger. So yeah, man, we have, like I said, we got them from 99 to 2.
Right. Yeah, no, it's gotta be a good feeling, just like making music that's like general enough that a kid and a parent could both enjoy it together. That's got to stand out, because a lot of rap doesn't really make that transition.
I mean, we don't make a lot of pop and put and all that type of music, you know what I mean? Like, all our shit is really like real life crossroads. It's the first of the month. If I could teach the world, you know, you got our songs, Mo Murder and things like that, but you know, it's just like our diversity has always been like across a broader spectrum. We ain't never got boxed into one category.
No, definitely. Did you ever make your way towards any sort of resolution with Finesse 2 Times, or did that just end up getting left out there in the open?
No, we talked, and he was on
stream?
On streaming.
Okay.
And he said, he was like, man, I ain't got no problem with that, man, because I told him, like, first of all, that wasn't me. And I'm old enough to be a nigga father, so I'm just like, I ain't finna fall out with nobody on earth. For
the people who don't know, Finesse 2 Times wanted to clear a sample on a record, and basically the owner of the sample tried to charge him $40K for it. He goes on stream and kind of airs out Bone Thugs like they were the ones doing it, when in truth, y'all are not the ones who are making the decisions about these samples from your records from 30 years ago.
Yeah, and the only reason I really got into the whole conversation of the thing is because I liked what he did. You know what I mean? I like that shit. I'm like, oh yeah.
The song itself.
What he did to the song.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? I liked it when I heard because his verse, he spit that. He did that, you know what I mean? So when it came back as a misunderstanding, me being the G that I am, I squashed it immediately. Like, no, let me get at him. I hit him in the DM. I'm an OG, man. I don't play them young games. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't gonna do that. We can grow together. Like, so that was, he understood. I guess he got it in his time, but I was never on that anyway. I'm too old to be beefing.
But in between all that, you decided at one point, like, fuck, I'm making a diss song?
That wasn't me. that wasn't me, man. That was AI. I keep telling everybody. I liked the song though. I was like,
I was panicking for a second because I was like, fuck, am I accusing him of something another Bone member did? Fuck.
Listen to my music. Kudos to whoever they took all things that was said, put the shit in AI spit it back out, and it was relevant in a month. But at the same time, no, man, that wasn't me. If I'm coming at you, I'm coming at you a whole nother way. But it was a cool song. But, you know, I ain't gonna represent nothing that ain't me, though.
Okay. Yeah, because that, like, in my hip-hop brain, the idea of, like, Bone Thugs overlapping with Finesse 2 Times is, like, kind of just mind-blowing. Like, these are just different generations.
Myself, you know what I mean? Like,
no, he is. And he does make good music, too, which is kind of funny. He's like a master troll / good rapper.
I ain't got no problems with Young G. He got mad at me because I called him a grasshopper. But other than that, though, you know what I mean? That's just me talking because I am that much older.
Well, that's some Karate Kid shit,
Yeah,
right?
you know,
Like,
Daniel's son.
yeah.
Yeah, but that really wasn't no thing, man. That was just a little entertainment. You know how the internet do. You got to entertain sometime. So, you know, after it was getting out of hand, I let it be known to him that wasn't me, man.
No, yeah, 100%. And so you guys at one point you were supposed to go on tour with 3-6, but then because of that versus squabble issue that happened, that kind of put an end to the plan of y'all going on tour.
Nah, cause we still talking about going on tour.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But that was just 20-something years of a build up. All that shit was squashed that night too, man.
Okay.
Told you my diplomacy. I don't let it go that far. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas, we went at it just like real niggas do. It was a misunderstanding. The misunderstanding was had, and actually, the talk about going on tour didn't happen till after that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we still talked about it. That was business. The business didn't fall through on that, and that's how we end up beelining over to Wu-Tang.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, DJ Paul produced so many songs for me, for Crazy, for, you know what I mean? Like it just really wasn't ever that. And I was always cool with Gangsta Boo. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that did blow my mind because I just think of like everybody I've been around in 3-6 is pretty chill, laid back these days. I'm sure they were kind of different when they were younger and shit. And then like you guys always seem like, at least in the modern era, to be like pretty laid back. So that was a shocking moment to say the least.
Yeah, we had all our fights, man, back when we was that age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had some shebangers around here, but you know, but no, that was just a straight up business that the business didn't fall through the right way, and it was kind of being rushed, so we all fell back like, no, we had to do that the right way.
Got it. How much of like a hip hop fan do you feel like at this point in your life? Like, do you kind of listen to the classics, or are you like really checking out new rappers still and shit like that?
I mean, I check out a lot of new rappers. You know what I'm saying? Like my sons is 23, 24.
Oh,
you know what I mean? They rap. Stevon the Don. My son's he called himself Tajor, but it's Stephen Jr. He sing. My daughter Trinity. So I gotta listen to all the new shit. You know what I'm saying? So and that's what it is. Like I stay with the younger generation.
Do you keep a certain amount of distance though? Because it's like, you know, there's various levels that you could like help your kids musically. You know, like you could take a really direct level of involvement, or you could be like, I'm gonna give you space to like figure it out, and if you really show promise, maybe I'll step in and get more involved.
Well, yeah, I let them do their thing. You know what I mean? And they've been finding their way pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I raised them right, so I like to be around the music. Period. So when I come around, it's like, you know, I give them their space. I'm not trying to tell them how to do their stuff or nothing like that. It's just like I'm a fan of theirs too. I know I like where they get their swag from.
Because they got it from you.
Right. Please believe it.
At least some of it. Shit. All right. So okay, you're pushing this new project. There's a new single that's out. How would you describe this run that you're brewing up right now?
Man, it's just me really getting you know, the maturity I'm in. Like my album, it just makes so much sense. It's not a bunch of songs just put together. It tell a story. Like I said, Dash is the little line between your birthday and your death date, and I'm talking about everything in between that young could relate to, the older can relate to, the single. You know what I mean? We've been working on this Thug Pound situation for so long with Corrupt and Daz. And
is that a tour or like an album or both?
It's it should be both, but you know, so I'm like, me and Corrupt been making songs together since like 2006. So I'm like, we sitting on all this music. Let me put a Thug Pound song on this album, and that song is called Whatever. So that's me, my brother Flesh, and Corrupt was the first ones to kick it through. I also got a song out here with Daz that, you know, we been hinting at it for a while, so that's all it is. Just keep continuously staying consistent with some dope shit.
No, facts, man. It's motivating to see y'all still going hard and still adding to your legacy after all these years. Is really incredible, just given the heights that y'all have seen and how much work you put in.
Yeah, as long as I look young and feel young, and you know, I can get out here and bang with the best of them. Keep telling everybody, music don't have an age limit on it. You ain't got to worry about it. This ain't football. This ain't basketball. You know what I mean? Long as you take care of your vocals, you all right.
But you're good proof that, like, if you want to look young, stay lean. Because I feel like becoming fat is like the number one thing that makes you look old. But then also, black don't crack. That definitely don't hurt either.
Yeah, black don't crack. That's for sure. But yeah, no, I mean, you just got to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Everything is in moderation, man. You gotta if you want the best, then you gonna take care of yourself and take care of the people around you and protect your space. You know what I mean? Protect the energy around you, because I feel like people with a bad attitude or bad energy can make you old too. You know what I mean? So it's just like just having constant creativity around you will keep you young forever.
Yeah, I assume that people who hate their jobs and just do something that they despise every day, that it's got to somehow like manifest itself in your body and f up your health.
Yep. Your organs up and wrinkle your skin up and all that shit. So do what you love. You know what I mean? Don't just do what you can do. Do what you love to do. And I think that's what keeps you in a godly position type. Yeah.
Facts. Anything like, is there anything that stands out on your bucket list that you want to do in life?
Yeah, man, I'm writing my movies now. You know what I'm saying? I do poetry. I got a book of poetry coming out, poems that I wrote over the years. My book is called The Ancient Vehicle, you know, really talking about how your instincts in life guide you through, life, you know. And yeah, my movies, man. I just want to be a part of the entertainment world forever.
100%.
That's my son. Right
Oh,
there.
It is. Oh shit. Hell yeah.
I thought you wasn't coming, boy.
Nice to meet you, man. What's going on? How you feeling, dog?
Yeah,
what up, man? We were just rapping anyway, but yeah, hell yeah. Nice to meet you. Okay, so anybody you want to shout out, or anybody anything you want to thank people for?
Man, I just want to say, man, check out my website, LayzieBone99.com. You know what I mean? Y'all my son just stepped in, Stevan the Don. He got his projects. He got a clothing line called Bad Threat. You know, I got my clothing line. I got a ladies, for the ladies, LAYDIES, playing off my name. So, you know, just follow me, what we doing. I want to say, you know, shout out to my bros, Crazy Busy, Wish Flesh. You know what I mean? I want to shout out to all my peoples that helped us get this far, man. Shout out to Bobby D. Shout out to Steve Lobel. Man, my son Steven, you know what I mean? Tajor, Trinity. And just rock with Bone, man. We forever young around here, so I'm gonna keep it going. And if you can go to my website and check out everything I got going on, LayzieBone99.com.
Yeah.
I'm thankful, man. That's all it is. I appreciate the interview too.
Hell yeah, man. No, I appreciate your time. Honestly, it was a big part of my childhood, and it was great to get to sit down with you. I sat down with Crazy before, like probably 7 years ago, if I had to guess. So it's definitely good to fill in another one, man. And best of luck with everything you got going on.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Layzie Bone, Bone Thugs forever, No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Like, comment, and subscribe, and shout out to our members who got to watch this live. Appreciate it, man.